Toy Box Nostalgia.
Howdy friends, and welcome back to Toy Box Nostalgia. I'm Douglas, and it is Douglas's birthday. And for my birthday, I've received what I believe to be one of the absolute most epic birthday gifts ever. So, Babette, in spirit, and my absolutely gorgeous wife have purchased for me the Mondo 1/6 scale Masters of the Universe Skeletor. We get to the vintage style head. Why would somebody use the other head? I mean, I get it. Mondo did a great job on the other head, but they did a better job on the vintage one, if you ask me. I know I've said on this channel that I wasn't going to purchase these or collect these, and that is simply due to cost and space. This is a massive figure. This is, I think, like 12 inches tall. But holy cow, is this epic. This thing is heavy. I feel like this is probably like 2 pounds. Well, I've only taken a look at it through the packaging, and I gotta tell you, my friends, I'm very excited. So in the Toy Box Nostalgia style, we're gonna be taking a super duper close look at this action figure. We're gonna take a look at the articulation, all of the details. We're gonna be doing a comparison between a lot of stuff that I have here. I don't have anything that's really that big except for Scare Glow. And we're going to be taking an absolutely fun toy photo, which is going to be the thumbnail of this video, so I'm hoping that's cool. If you're new to Toy Box Nostalgia, you'd love to see lots of Masters of the Universe unboxing content like this show up into your YouTube newsfeed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Truly helps out the channel. And thank you so very much to all of my subscribers. It truly means the world to me. What means even more to me is when you like my videos, right? That actually makes me feel like what I'm doing is right. Taking a look at analytics, obviously MOTU stuff is absolutely crushing it on the channel, but we do have a lot of non-MOTU stuff to do. You know, we have Mars Attacks, we have Silverhawks, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The list goes on and on. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thank you so very much for joining me this evening, my friends. Let's just dive right in. Okay, my friends, here he is inside of this huge, epic packaging. This box measures 13 1/4 inches in width and 14 3/4 inches in height, 4 1/4 inch in depth. So this box is absolutely humongous, right? And like I said, it's heavy. So let's start it off by taking a close look at this beautiful packaging, because there's tons of awesome artwork on this. Look at this beautiful drawing on here. Is this not absolutely gorgeous? Look at the details in Skeletor right there. It's absolutely like some sort of old-fashioned looking comic book artwork. Like this kind of reminds me of like a Led Zeppelin record or something. You know what I mean? Like it's like almost psychedelic looking. We have him standing on this green planet. We have very shiny water in the background, and you can see that's actually just printed like that. Nothing is glossy. This is a flat finish cardboard. And we can see there's 2 moons in the sky, and he's holding his sword out, and magic is coming out. He's also holding his Havoc staff, looking awesome. I love his suit. This suit is incredible. You can see his loincloth looks like it's real fur. And it looks like he's standing at the mouth of, I don't even know what that stuff is. I'm guessing it's not magma or lava or whatever, just because, you know, there's only a little bit of smoke coming out of it, but take a look at that smoke. Look at the details in there, right? Lots and lots of cross hatching, looking absolutely epic, right? Wow. So the front, this is what the front is. It doesn't say any words except Mondo, right down here at the bottom left. You just get this. Okay, so the box didn't come damaged like this. That was Samson. This was sitting on the floor, and Samson decided that he wanted to open it before me. So I had to tell him, no, this is my birthday gift. Anyways, down here at the bottom says Skeletor in an almost neon green. Again, this is all flat finish. And we have like some purple and black details back there, if you can kind of see that. Again, more cross-hatching, beautiful comic book style artwork. It says Masters of the Universe right here, and that's like the coolest looking Masters of the Universe logo I think I've seen in a long time. It's just kind of neon green and black. Up here at the top on the side says Mondo 1/6 scale figure, says 1/6 scale collectible figure. And then it says it again, a couple of languages. So up here on the top, we can see that purple and black artwork in the background is Snake Mountain. You can see the eyes right there. Now this is starting to make more sense, right? Definitely looks gnarly and nasty like Snake Mountain. And then we have again that Masters of the Universe logo. On this side of the box, we have the same thing as the other side. On the bottom of the box, it says Mondo is a trademark of Funko LLC. And then we see some more words right there. Made in China. You need to be at least 14 years of age to own this. Here's the barcode in case you need it. And it says Mondo's Collectibles LLC, and a bunch of this stuff is recyclable, it looks like. Awesome. Flipping over to the back where the good stuff is, right? Let's take a full shot here. You can see that there's a lot of neon, almost neon green color. Maybe it's neon. It's definitely a green that has a lot of yellow in it. You can see Snake Mountain back there. See if I can get a better shot of it. Take a look at that, right? Loads of details. I love it. Very gnarly and nasty. Somebody took a lot of time to do all of that pen work, and we could tell who did that right here. Package illustrations, Florian Bertmer. That's awesome. Nice job, Florian. Like, this artwork is wonderful, and I love it. Says up here at the top, by the power of Grayskull, and that's trademarked. Says Evil Lord of Destruction. We all know that is what Skeletor is known as. Mortally wounded by his brother King Randor, Keldor was revived by Hordak, the dark arts master. He merged Keldor with an extra-dimensional being, forever transforming him into Skeletor, Overlord of Evil. So there's a lot of trademarks we got going on there. Purged of the desire for all but supreme control, Skeletor was consumed by his greed for Castle Grayskull, home of the cosmos' greatest power source. He assembled Eternia's evil warriors, but found them no match for his arch enemy, He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Now Lord Skeletor has amassed the ultimate arsenal to capture the Grayskull throne at last. With battle armor, terror claws, and his fearsome dragon blaster, he'll prove once and for all who's the true ruler of Eternia. Down here says Mondo. Now, this box was probably reused with that super epic edition that comes with all of the outfits and such that's mentioned right here. This is just the basic Skeletor version, which that's all I really care about, to be honest with you. I do like the battle armor that comes with that super deluxe version, but I'm also super happy with my Masterverse version. Ooh, I can't wait to see what these look like together. That's going to be awesome. We open up this flap right here, as you saw me do at the beginning of the video. We have an incredible toy photograph right there. Holy cow. That is awesome, right? The toy photography is done by Raul Barrero. And look at this, like, early 1980s looking artwork, almost 1970s look to it. This really feels like I'm opening up a vinyl album, right? I had those as a kid because I'm old, just like I had the original figure. So this, again, this is such a beautiful toy photograph right here. Take a look at this. I love the lighting. I love the red hitting the side of them. It's almost like a magenta red color. And somebody did a great job designing the diorama in the background. Kind of looks like maybe a combination of Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull together, but, you know, because we have these bars here, and we have something kind of looks like an open mouth with teeth. Either way, it's fantastic, and just, it shows every detail. In person, to my eye, I'm seeing this razor sharp. Absolutely beautiful. Over here, finally, we have this huge, beautiful window showing off, sort of, all of the stuff that you get on the inside here, right? There's a lot of glare there, sorry about that, but yeah, he's like wrapped in plastic. I'm guessing that's to protect the paint as they push him into the bubble that he's sitting in. But we can see he comes with extra hands, 3 weapons and 2 heads. And that's really it. This is like the run-of-the-mill Skeletor. The thing I'm most excited about is right there. So for reference, this is what his vintage head looks like, and we'll kind of do a comparison. I don't want to take this out of the package. My wife also bought this for me for Valentine's Day one year, because every time we go to the mall, I would go into this collector store, and I would just stand there and just stare at this in awe. This is such a massive figure. Yeah, this dude's 12 inches tall, so that's awesome. Anyways, that's it for the packaging, my friends. Let's go ahead and open this box and get him out of here, right? Inside of the box is just raw cardboard, but that's kind of cool that you can see the artwork from the flap through the window now that the action figure's out of there. Oh, he comes in this nice little, I don't know what you want to call this, like a cradle, right? This is cardboard. On the back of it's completely raw cardboard, and on the front is a flat finish, super bursting green color. It's beautiful. I love it. And it's just a lot of greens. There's some cream color, a deep color green, maybe like a hunter green, and then just a basic sap green color. It's almost like kind of really warm. And then we have the action figure in this big old bubble. Okay, so we can see everything now clearly in the bubble except the action figure who was covered in plastic. Let's go ahead and remove him. Okay, so the first thing that hits you right in the face is an incredible vinyl smell, like a brand new beach ball. The aesthetics are outstanding. I don't understand how this is an action figure. And the size, I'm like taken aback by how large this action figure truly is. This is huge. And then we get all of these hands right here. The weapons, holy cow, they look incredible. Jeez Louise, how the hell did Mondo achieve this? Wow. I saved my favorite part for last. Alright, so underneath the bubble, there's something taped to it, and it looks like his stand. Okay, my friends, here's everything outside of the packaging. So we get this base and the stand, we get 3 weapons, we get an additional head, we get 6 extra hands, and that is extra to the ones that come on the action figure itself. So let's go ahead and kick this off by taking a close look at the action figure's details. This is gorgeous. This is an absolute masterpiece. This is a work of art. This is truly fantastic. So he comes with this head right here, which is designed by Mondo, and it truly gives off Skeletor vibes. He has a hood that is kind of not attached, but it is through the head. Obviously, it's pegged onto the body, and the hood is made from a soft material, and the head is a hard plastic, and you can see each individual tooth right there. You can see that the skull itself somehow looks very angry. And then take a look at his chest armor. I've never seen a Skeletor look like this before. I feel like he's really here in this room with me just due to all of the insane amount of fine details and paint washing and dry brushing. It's just full of gorgeous details. Take a look at that beautiful big purple bat on his chest. Look at all of those rivets right there that are skulls. Look at all of the bones. And geez Louise, all of the plates, how they just line up here on the chest armor is just fantastic. And if you take a look at the buckles that hold the chest armor onto Skeletor, have all of the rivets painted, all of the buckles painted. Everything is pretty much a separate color. Flipping over to the back, you can see they continue right up to the back of that chest plate. And speaking of backs, you can see a spine is just embedded into the chest armor just to give him, just make him more intimidating, right? Dude's super spooky, and he's a super badass. Take a look at his belt buckle right here, holding on this giant belt that he's wearing. Absolutely phenomenal. And then we have that bird skull right there, and you can see his eyes are painted a gold color. And just, this is nuts. This is nuts how much detail is on this. All of these little flaps right here are individual pieces. They're made from a soft material. And underneath his loincloth is actually not real fur, but it's like faux fur. And yeah, that's amazing. I love the skin tone. It is that powder blue color that we all know Skeletor has. And take a look at the bracer itself. Look at all of that incredible detail on there. Holy cripes. This is beautiful. You flip it over and you can see the buckle on it right there, and the seam where he puts it on. Oh, wow, this is truly epic looking. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. And I feel like kind of honored to even be holding this action figure right now. It doesn't make any sense. Take a look at his shin guards right there. all of the beautiful detail. It's painted. All of this purple that you see, by the way, is very shiny, and it's almost like car paint. Where, like, if you look at it up close, it's almost a little bit sparkly. And then, you know, you have gold right there for those bats, and you can see rivets sculpted in all of those buckles, and you can even see like strings, almost shoestrings or maybe leather string right there, just holding this onto his legs. This is what his feet look like. His feet are a hard plastic, which is probably good news to get him to stand, because this is a big, hulking, heavy action figure. And like, look at the detail in the toes. It reminds me of Venom's feet, to be honest with you. Wow. And he comes with his fist on his right hand, and his left hand, he has like an open hand, you know? Like, he's kind of like, come here. This hood is really cool. I like how it's a separate piece. It's not part of this, so maybe we can take it off of the skull and see if that is a thing. Let's go ahead and try that. It was incredibly easy to remove the head. You could see the socket for the ball joint inside there, and look at that. It just comes right out. This is a soft material, maybe like a vinyl, and you could see that there's details just absolutely, and texture all over it to make it look realistic. This is very realistic looking, and I love that this isn't a perfect straight line right here, because it looks like it's like a sewn together hood. Honestly, like, it's just looks real. It's everything that I'm looking at looks real. So here is the head. You can see there's lots of detail in there. Looks like there's a little bit of like scrapes on his skull from battling and fighting. He does have a green hue. If you look closely, you can see a lot of green, which blends into the yellow of the front of the skull. And then we see like blacked out eyes and nose, and his jaw articulates. Look at that. Holy cow. Wow. This is awesome. Look at that right there. That's crazy. And it's a good amount of articulation too. It's not like some of the other stuff that we see here on smaller scale on the channel. I like the way the skull is shaped. I like it. I like the design. I think Mondo did an absolutely fantastic job with this skull. Holy cow. So here you can see the ball joint right there, and it has a little bit of joystick movement in it. It's kind of like a dumbbell, you know what I mean? So you have two ball joints and then a peg between, and just, wow, this is truly awesome. Yeah, so you can absolutely display him with just this skull, and I think that is awesome, right? Because I mean, you do get some separation right there. So like, maybe if I took maybe like a toy photograph where he was standing like this, all I would do is use Photoshop and just pull the blue of the neck all the way up to the base of the skull. As far as this piece being removed, looks like we just kind of pulled this peg right here. Yep, that was easy. Looks like I have to remove the head again. Yeah, so there we go. Got off. I just slid it down over his legs. To get the bracers off, I believe you just move the hands. Those are huge pegs, by the way. Yeah, see? Just comes right off. Very nice. Yeah, those pegs are massive. So there he is, my friends. This is as naked as you're going to get this Skeletor. Huh? Alright, so let's take a look at his chest armor first, because this is truly impressive. I've never seen an action figure with this amount of detail before in my entire life. Mondo went all out, not only in the sculpting department, but with the paint and just... The overall design, the direction of this project is like perfection to me. It was executed absolutely perfect. This is a soft material, and you could see how this connects right here. So whenever you disconnect it, you can't just like pull it down. It's an actual ring right there, and it kind of snaps into that keyed area right there, just like that. And you actually hear a snap. Like this isn't just pushed together, you know, it is held together with friction and a little bit of pressure, but wow, this is truly phenomenal. Take a look at on top of the shoulders there. He has more of those skull rivets right there on these black straps that come down from the sides. And then we see like the bat armor plate right there reaches or like wraps around his whole like shoulder area. And this is nuts. He does have like a reddish colored, it's like a shining metal looking emerald, like right in the center of the chest. And the bones look like they're like actual painted. They don't even look painted. They look like real bones to me. Just absolutely ancient though. You can see they're like a dark tan color with like a black wash inside of it. And this is perfect. This is absolutely stunning to me. I don't know how Mondo did this. So here is the, I guess his groin protector part, or his loin protector, whatever you want to call it. And this is also a soft material. You saw how this comes apart. It's kind of just like the chest armor, where you have like this little button right here and it actually snaps into place. A little hard to do through a viewfinder, but there we go. And yeah, look at all of those rivets going all the way around right there. Look at the massive buckle right there that he has to deal with every day when he puts this on, unless he sleeps in this. I actually imagine Skeletor sleeping in his uniform, right? Or in his armor, whatever you want to call it. And then, so speaking of which, these pieces that come down, they're a soft material, just like the entire thing. And we have more of those skull, they almost look like coins, right? They're like a deep gold color, but not super duper shining gold. Like there's not too much yellow in it. And then down here, they're like capped with these metal looking pieces right here. It's not metal, obviously. I think this is all just vinyl, but up here, there's even more, like, I don't know, there's just rivets up there just holding all of this together. And then we have that crazy bird looking creature right there on the front. And you can see that there's some metal plates right there. This stuff must be heavy. No wonder why the dude is ripped. He's like wearing all of this heavy stuff all the time, but take a look at this stuff together. It's truly beautiful. This is absolutely stunning. This is perfection. This is everything that I've ever wanted in a Skeletor action figure my entire life. If I had this when I was a kid, I wonder what my imagination would be like today, right? So that is all of his stuff kind of taken off of him to take a look at these details. Next up, let's take a look at articulation, my friends. So we already saw that his head's on a ball joint. I'm just going to leave all the armor and stuff off for now. And you can see that he looks down just fine. He looks up, kind of. Here's straight ahead, so it's not that much. And so to look completely up, you probably have to remove the head and like maybe use some sticky tack if you were going to take a toy photograph like this or like this. You know, that looks pretty cool. Again, there's just a little bit of joystick movement here just because of the nature of that dumbbell. And you can see that this is as much freakiness as the guy's going to get, and then moving back and forth just a little bit, just a tad, moving down to the shoulder. It's on a peg. I don't believe the arms remove. I kind of don't want to do that, but take a look at this massive blue pumpkin right here, right? Holy cow. And then we have a hinge right here, so he moves in and out, and 360, obviously. He does have a bicep cut, so he could swivel at the bicep. Moving down to the elbow, it is a single jointed elbow, but it's like seamless looking. What is this design? Like, what did Mondo do? This is awesome. We have a hinge right there, and it's on a peg, so it swivels. So far, look at all of the articulation so far. It's just crazy. Moving down to the wrist. The wrist is on a wonderful ball joint. It's two pieces right here. Kind of reminds me of Revoltech, where you get those two pieces, or maybe like a Nendroid figure, and the peg is connected to only one of them, and they're able to slide together. Like maybe you can actually see the pin right there that holds this together, and then the peg itself has like two rings on it essentially for friction to hold it into the socket. So you get a great amount of articulation. I did replace his left hand with a fist just so they matched for the remainder of the video, but on this side is exactly the same as his left side. And moving down to the chest, we do have an ab crunch here, which is great. It doesn't like move up and down this way in this fashion, at least mine doesn't, unless it just needs warmed up, but it turns. And I feel like that's the most natural way you can turn an action figure to keep it looking real, rather than a cut down here. I actually kind of don't prefer those cuts down there. This guy kind of has one, and you can see it moves a little bit, but I think it's on purpose, so it doesn't like break the composure of like the spine or, you know, the person's body, whomever the action figure's based off of, right? I love that. So there's a pretty big gap right there, but that's intentional for sure to get that movement, and it doesn't look bad by any means. You can see that he does crunch forward a little bit, so he can crunch a little bit down like this, you know. Holy cow, he looks angry. And then moving back, you know, he can kind of, yeah, just a little bit there. All right, moving down to the legs, let's take a look at the pelvis. So this is as far out as you're going to get these legs. I move this up a little bit. You can see that there is in fact an extra loincloth underneath here to protect his crown jewels. So he does have a ball joint and inside there, and I can actually see it. I'm not sure if you can just because of the lighting, but it looks like they might be the same. It might be a V shape inside there with 2 ball joints at the end and sockets in the tops of the thighs that it snaps into. But you get a good range of articulation. You get a good amount there. You take a look like that. As far as splits goes, that's as far as he's going to split. Moving down to the knee, we have double hinge right there, my friends. Double jointed knee. Here we go. So he can do the tee-hee-hee, my friend. And then, yeah, just you can see the hinges. Those are crazy hinges. We don't get, well, we do get some spin right there. A little bit. You know, it's like a natural amount, though. It's not like a goofy, you know, retail action figure where everything just spins and the waist spins and nothing really makes sense as far as being realistic goes. So yeah, that's a good amount of articulation for a double leg joint. You know, kind of reminds me of Masterverse a little bit, like with this right here. And the kneecaps look great, by the way. It's very seamless looking when his knees are bent. Like, Mondo did a great job, I feel like, with the overall design. Like I said, the direction of this, it's absolutely perfect in my mind. We don't get any articulation as far as like a boot cut goes, but that's okay. Like I said, we have a little bit of spin at the knee right here, and that's just enough. And then down here at the foot, his foot can spin. It's also like a rocker, so I'm guessing maybe it's a ball joint inside there, which is awesome. But he doesn't get too much as far as, like, you know, tapping his foot goes, right? And again, the same thing for the leg from his right side is the same as everything on his left side. So that is all of the articulation, all the details of the figure. Let's go ahead and get this guy dressed. Okay, now he's fully dressed, my friends. This piece right here, getting that little thing inside there to snap into place while it was on the action figure, I'm not sure if it works, to be honest with you. I feel like it's very, very loose. And it's a shame because it makes this piece very loose over his body. What I did was I used this pair of scissors right here, and I just kind of put it down inside here so they had something sturdy and metal underneath it to prop up the circular piece that the plug goes into, just because there's a big crease in his back for his spine. And while I was trying to push this on, I feel like that just kept going down into the crease of the spine. So it just needed a little bit of support. Super pain in the butt, but I got it to work anyways. And next up is the accessories, my friends. Okay, so next up are accessories, my friends. Let's take a look at this Havoc staff. This thing is very top heavy. This piece up here at the top, you could kind of feel it. It's just like really heavy up there. This is very light and airy feeling down here, but this is where all the meat is up here. But take a look at these gorgeous details. And then we have this like black wrap that goes down to wrap around the Havoc staff for him to grip onto. And take a look at the ball on the end. Look at that. That's absolutely beautiful. I love the details here. I think that Mondo crushed it with this. It kind of looks like the retro vintage version of this, but just updated. Just with tons and tons of love and imagination poured into this. This is beautiful. And then here is the battle axe. He does have that ball at the top there, kind of like, I think that's what it was like in the cartoon maybe, because the ball version of this battle axe, I remember specifically, came with the ultimate version of Skeletor right here from Super 7. You can see the ball up there at the top, and this is meant to look like it's from the cartoon, so I'm fairly certain that maybe in the cartoon he did have that up there. And for this Mondo version right here, you can see it's almost like a pearl. It's definitely plastic and it's definitely painted. I could tell that there's like some sort of airbrush or paint on it to make it that fluorescent mother of pearl color. And then they have, look at the details of the battle axe itself. Tons. And it's sharp on the edges, not like gonna cut you or anything, but it's definitely not flat like a toy. And you could see that the purple was painted on there, and wow, yeah, so there's black and there's like silver dry brush inside of there, just making all of those beautiful details right there truly stick out. This looks very 3D to me. And then take a look at the handle. He's got that same wrapping around the handle so that he can grip the battle axe. And then down here at the bottom, it's a big old metal spike, kind of looks like the spike you would see at the top of like an iron fence, right? A very epic design to me. and a very scary weapon. Taking a look at his sword, right? So this is the purple version of essentially the power sword, and it kind of looks like the sword from Origins to me. The way that these are designed right here, you know, I think these are for like if you're sword fighting and a sword goes down inside there, you could kind of twist it and like maybe bend the other person's sword or break it. But just look at that. It's a beautiful purple color. It matches all of the purple that is painted onto the action figure. Down here at the handle, you can see there's wrap again just for him to grip it, and then take a look at the butt end of the sword right there. And this is a very thick sword. Take a look at that, and it's very short too. Like it's not super duper long like the power sword was that we've seen a couple of times. And it's not too short. It's like perfect size, if you ask me. It really looks like an Origin sword. So here we have the 80th anniversary of Mattel version of Skeletor. We just opened up here on the channel. It's just half of a sword because He-Man has the other half. But take a look at that, right? Very close in design. The Mondo version obviously looks a lot more adult looking. It's like sharper looking. And obviously the details, the wash, there's like I don't know if it's painted silver and then somebody kind of like rubbed it with their fingers, you know, to get it to look this way. But you could see silver like all down this part of the blade right here. Crazy thick blade. If this were a real sword, I feel like this would be like 50 pounds of steel, right? Or whatever metal they use on Eternia. But yeah, there's a comparison of those two right there. They're kind of close, and I think that Mondo did a great job. Next up are the hands. So let's take a look at these hands right here. Like I said, we get 6 extra hands on top of the 2 that are on the figure right now. And those, as I mentioned before, I replaced one with the fist. So these are just 2 fist hands. And then we have a sword gripping hand right here, or maybe a Havoc staff gripping hand or battle axe gripping hand. All of his nails are painted black, and he has lots and lots of little details in the hand itself. I think that's great. Fantastic touch. Here is his right gripping hand. Look at that thumbnail. Just look at all of those details. It's beautiful. And then here we have what I guess looks like spell casting hands, right? It's going to cast a spell on you, scare the crap out of you. Look at those. The nails are painted perfectly, and the tone matches the plastic of the action figure perfectly. But take a look. You could see like some of his veins in his hand right there. All of the wrinkles in the fingers and the knuckles. Finally, we have 2 more gripping hands right here. These are a little bit more closed than the other gripping hands that we saw. But you can see they're kind of sculpted in, like it's almost like there's a negative cylinder inside there. So it's probably for the Havoc staff, I'm not sure. And these are made from a semi-soft material. So I'm hoping I don't get too much like paint transfer or anything like that when I go to put the weapons in, and we'll try that here in a second. And then obviously his fists, he only has 1 painted nail on his fist, and that is his thumb. But it's a very good fist. It seems kind of small for some reason, especially when you look at it next to other hands. His fists do seem a little bit small. Next up, we have his base, right? So the base comes in 3 pieces, it looks like. So maybe this piece snaps into here. Yeah, look at that. I love how they made like castle floor look right there. And then this kind of like a doll stand almost, where you have this metal piece right here. Kind of just slides right in right there. And I'm guessing it holds him up this way. This is a really nice stand, but you can see it kind of goes up under the crotch and kind of holds his whole entire crotch here together, and you could kind of shimmy it so that this, you know, this piece right here doesn't have to get crushed underneath. And yeah, he stands perfectly on it. That's really nice. Yeah, look, I can't make him fall to the sides, to the front or the back. So that's a perfect stand. There's nothing on the bottom, just flat plastic. And yeah, again, this would look cool with like a dry brush of like a light gray in it. I think that would look awesome. And then finally, my friends, the best for last, this vintage style head. What's cool about this head is that it's almost like, any way you look at it, it's almost like his pupils, those red pupils right there, are looking at you. And I think that's due to the design, because it's like concave, almost like a spherical almost inside of the eye socket. And look at that, he's like looking at us. No matter which way we put him, he's looking at us. See that? It's really nice. Yeah, look, I can't make him fall to the sides, to the front or the back. So that's a perfect stand. There's nothing on the bottom, just flat plastic. And yeah, again, this would look cool with like a dry brush of like a light gray in it. I think that would look awesome. And then finally, my friends, the best for last, See that? The eyes are perfect. It might not look like it just because of the shadow. It's hard to get perfect lighting for this stuff, but the red dots inside there are perfect. And then he's got a green. It's almost like an airbrush green inside there that blends into the yellow, and you can see the green down here. And the head just looks super vintage looking. Like this is just the 80th anniversary version of Skeletor. They came with He-Man, the 2-pack we just opened, but look at that. There's a lot more red in this one than there is in the Mondo version, and that's understandable. But we have lots of the beautiful black detail right there in the jaw in the Mondo version, and also in the teeth, and even like the 2 lines up here at the top where his brow are. They're just painted on there. And here he is next to the Mattel version, the re-release, the big gigantic 12-inch version of Skeletor. You can see that they're pretty darn close. I really like this design a lot. I think Mondo killed it and did a great job. Underneath, you can see the socket hole, like where the ball joint snaps into, and again with the details, the texture of the hood itself. There's wrinkles in the hood, you know, signifying that it is fabric. And there's no black paint inside the hood. It's just purple. You can see right there, they didn't put any black inside there or anything, but this is a beautiful representation of Skeletor from the good old days, right? I found that it's easier to turn the head around backwards to press it down into the, press the ball joint of the neck up into the socket of the head. But all right, my friends, this is what he looks like with the vintage head. This is absolutely how I'm going to be displaying this action figure. This action figure is truly epic. This is the most epic action figure I think I've ever held before in my entire life. It's gorgeous. Let's swap out the hands. I'm going to do this semi-open grip hand right here because the ball joint in this one, I think it goes a different way. You can see right here, like the hinge joints, it kind of moves up and down this way, whereas the more closed version kind of goes in and out this way. Okay, here he is with these hands on right here. And yeah, so the articulation of this, it kind of goes into the palm. And this one is the same way. So you can move in and out rather than up and down. And let's go ahead and put some weapons in his hands, my friends. All right, so the Havoc staff doesn't come apart anywhere, so I'm guessing I kind of have to snap it into his hand, unfortunately. Just gonna exploit that open thumb right there. And yeah, I mean, it worked. That's cool. And now let's put, I think his battle axe would be a little bit much. There's no place to put his sword back here. Like, he can't hold his sword like in his outfit, essentially. Like, there's no holster here to slide it into, which is kind of a bummer. But you could probably fit it down inside of here. I'm just afraid of snapping the button right here out again. Like, that's I don't want to go through that again. All right, so this part is, like I said, it's very top heavy, so he kind of wants to go like this pretty easily, and that's just due to him having incredible articulation. But he holds on to these weapons perfectly. Take a look at that. It's great. I would just like kind of peel back his thumb a little bit, or maybe warm him up, put this in some hot water, just the hand itself, and then kind of put the weapon into the hand, then snap the whole entire hand into the actual wrist joint socket. But holy crap, holy cow, look at this. This is fantastic. This is beautiful. And this is absolutely I definitely want to display him with this head, and maybe in this configuration too, just because I don't know, I think of him with his sword all the time. I'm more of think of He-Man holding the battle axe than I do Skeletor. But also, you can get him, as you see, holding the Havoc staff here. I have him holding it all the way at the top, so that whenever he's standing, the ball joint can like stay on the ground and kind of keep it straight up and vertical. This looks awesome, and I'm going to show you right now. Yeah, take a look at that. This is definitely how I want to display him. I'm feeling a lot of nostalgia looking at this. And I promise you, this dude is looking back at me. Look at those red eyes. That is amazing. I love how that's done. No matter which way you look at it, it's like his eyes follow you like a praying mantis. I don't know if you've ever seen a praying mantis do that before. Oh, this is a magnificent, absolutely perfect, stunning work of art. And I feel like it's a little bit more of like a work of art or a statue than it is an action figure, just because it's kind of a pain in the butt for him to hold on to certain things, like this part being top heavy. You can see he just kind of wants to like let it loose. This piece right here, the back of this piece, getting it to snap on there was just kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm not sure I would like take him apart often, because I feel like this is like a sumptuous collector's piece. Like this is gorgeous. Okay, my fellow MOTU fans, so this Mondo 1/6 scale Skeletor action figure stands at 11 3/4 inches tall. Let's go ahead and do a quick comparison between him and some other action figures. So here he is standing next to the Mattel Masterverse New Eternia version of Battle Armor Skeletor. Here he is standing next to the Super 7 Ultimate version of Skeletor, whom I still have to open up here on the channel. Here he is standing next to the 5-Star Toys Neptune Man Sofubi figure. Here he is standing next to the Mondo 15-inch giant soft vinyl version of Scareglow. He doesn't even fit in the frame. Here he is standing next to a vintage Playskool Alfie 2. Here he is standing next to the Mondo soft vinyl version of Michelangelo from Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Here he is standing next to the Super 7 Ultimates version of Monstar, which is the toy version. Here he is standing next to the Funko Jumbotron Sofubi version of Voltron, Defender of the Universe. Here he is standing next to the Masters of the Universe Origins version of Stridor. And here he is standing next to some Shadow Weaver stuff. Here he is standing next to an Atari Lynx game. And finally, here he is standing next to the Maddie Collector Jumbo 12-inch version of the vintage Skeletor action figure, whom, again, I probably will never open. It just looks too good in the packaging. But that's it, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I loved unboxing this incredible birthday gift. Thank you, Julie and Babette. You two have absolutely made my year. This has the most epic Skeletor I have ever seen in my entire life. So that's it, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed this video. This has been the Toy Box Nostalgia unboxing and review and super duper close look at Douglas's birthday gift, the Mondo 1/6 scale version of Skeletor. Who is this action figure for? I'd have to say anyone who is an absolute hardcore fan of Masters of the Universe, and anyone who has the space to display these figures. If you have the space, I'm jealous. This hobby absolutely takes up a lot of space. But anyways, my take on this is that this is the most epic Skeletor that I've ever seen or held before in my entire life. But I'd love to know what you all think, so please drop a comment below and just let me know what you think of this figure. Do you collect these figures? If you do, I need to see display pictures. I need to see how you're displaying them. So up next is going to be the toy photo for the thumbnail. Thank you so very much for sticking to the end, my friends. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week. And always remember to grab your cameras and collect and shoot.